Hi guys, my name is Jay at JMB Online Prep. I'm going to briefly go over some of the questions on ACT Science. You don't need to read all the passages or all the information on ACT Science. You will waste so much time and you are pressure with the time on ACT. So you have to use the correct strategy. What I do is usually I read the beginning paragraph, which gives the definition and brief explanation. Here it says potential energy is stored energy. Kinetic energy is energy of motion. An object's total mechanical energy is the sum of P and Ke. Objects in motion lose total mechanical energy because of friction. Okay, here we have to remember three concepts: potential energy, kinetic energy, and object in motion lose total mechanical energy because of friction. So this is, although it is physics concept, it is a common sense. If you have learned physics, it is good. If you have not, it's okay, because by simply reading this, you can solve all the questions that's related to this question set. Okay, let's move on to question. We will take a look at each experiment as the question asks specific information. Okay, question number 24 asks, based on the result given in table 3, one can conclude that the spring used in experiment 3. Now we need to move on to experiment 3 and we have to take a look at table 3. Okay, what is experiment 3 about? A toy consists of a spring affixed to the inside of a box. The spring had much less mass than the box. When the toy was dropped and hit the floor, the spring compressed and then extended, throwing the toy upward as shown in figure 3. Okay, this is how it goes. Okay, we simply take a look at it, then move on to the next page. Okay, further description says the students tested 3 toys having the same mass but spring with different stiffness. Okay, this is the key. The same mass but spring with different stiffness. The students dropped each toy through the air from 1.0 meter above the floor and observed the maximum height reached by the toy on its first bounce. The results are given in table 3. Okay, so we look at this table 3. Based on the results given in table 3, one can conclude that the spring used in experiment 3, how about F, stored the same amount of potential energy when compressed as a result of falling 1 meter. If these springs had this, or if these toys had the same potential energy, what would happen? They would have, they would reach the same height, but the maximum height they reached were different. So we cannot conclude that the potential energy were the same. So F should be wrong. How about G? Store different amount of potential energy when compressed as a result of falling 1 meter. Makes sense. Because of different potential energy, they reach a different height. So G should be the answer. How about H? Had the same stiffness? No, the instructions specifically said they had the different stiffness with the same mass. So H and J include wrong information. So it is wrong. Okay, let's move on to question number 25. In experiment 2, if the height of point C were to be increased to equal the height of point A, in which trial, if any, would the cart reach point C? Okay, let's move on to experiment 2. Okay, experiment 2 said this point C will be increased to be on the same height as point A. Then what would happen? If you drop the cart, what would happen? Can it come back to point C? No. Why? Because this cart will lose energy to the friction. So no matter what, it cannot reach the top of point C. So none of the experiment will succeed in reaching point C. So if you go back to the question number 25, the correct answer should be none of the trials because of the friction. Okay, this is basically how you solve ACT science. You don't need to have great background on science, or you don't have to read the whole passage. You simply had to be able to find the important information and uh, analyze the data given. I hope you enjoyed this sample lecture. Thank you.